think that we're going to see several companies that relied too heavily on AI go out of business.
So what's one AI fear that you think is overblown?
AI apocalypse.
So do you think that AI is going to make us more creative or more lazy? So do you think that AI is going to make us more creative or more lazy? Maybe more both?
You know, I've learned a lot over the years working with people in very creative environments. Like I think places like Burning Man, where people are doing all kinds of inspired and crazy contraptions, and other think tanks and so on. And I just don't encounter laziness nearly as much as people fear.
Okay.
For one thing, people are a lot like me. I just can't sit there for very long doing nothing, being lazy. I've got to do something. I've got to build something. And most people I've met are kind of the same way. You know, yeah, sure, they need breaks, sometimes long breaks, but they want to build, they want to create, they want to do something with their lives. So I don't see AI making everybody lazy. I see it taking over a lot of the mundane tasks and freeing people up to pursue more ambitious goals, or perhaps more personalized goals, you know, things that wouldn't be commercially viable, but,
Sure.
but that means something to them. You know, art's a perfect example, music.
I like using AI because I've got a creative idea or something, then I feel like it helps me build it, right?
Yeah.
So from that perspective, 100%. But a lot of people maybe who don't like to create things and they're kind of happy with the way the world is, I fear that they're going to get things created around them that won't include them. From that perspective, right? So I see, you know, as a hypothetical, if you're like a video editor, right? And you're there and you're editing videos and, you know, as an example, right? It used to take 6 hours to edit. Now, if it can be done with a couple of systems, say in 2 hours, okay.
Or 2 seconds.
Yeah,
maybe.
well, 2 seconds, yeah. Then what you're going to have is you're going to have either one, the ability to create more content, because you'll have 3 times as much time for the video editor to work, or you'll have no content for them to create because that's just too bad because AI is doing it, right? And so that then means that the video editor, as a sample job, then needs to go and find something else to do.
Well, what we have seen throughout the decades is that work tends to fill the available
Space provider.
space for it. So like I really see people like the content would grow then if it's easy. People can think of more ideas, more things to film, or maybe they can expand into other areas of their lives, like go do some sports that they wouldn't have done otherwise because they were too busy.
Sure.
Like this gives you the possibility of becoming a more well-balanced individual, honestly. If you're not having to grind away on certain tasks most of your life and that take your focus from other things you have thought about maybe trying at some point. You know?
Okay, yeah. So do you have any fears, like we sort of discussed school a little bit before, do you have any fears that AI is going to take out teachers? Or because for me, you know, I think we all remember going to school, we all had great teachers, poor teachers. And maybe if you've got a poor teacher or one you're not too happy with, you could then still get an A by learning with AI, right?
Yes, and I've had to use computers when I've had bad teachers at university, you know, to just like ignore what they're saying during the lecture and like just teach myself a lot of things with the early internet at that time. And so, yeah, I could see AI filling that role. And whether that means teachers are replaced or whether they just voluntarily step back because they don't feel needed, I don't think that either that's what's going to happen. I think what this frees up a teacher to do is focus more on applied learning. So schools could transform into less of a lecture hall, more of take what you just learned from the AI and let's actually do something with it. Let's build that craft you were thinking, or let's make an automobile.
Okay.
Or let's practice our conversation skills. Let's practice networking with people. Let's see about medical therapy actually live in the real world. You know, it gives you that opportunity to be more of a workshop.
Okay,
sort of
fair enough.
environment.
Yeah, that's a nice theory. Yeah, I'm still looking for, sooner or later there'll be a school who will have a hologram of some type or something similar with a teacher who is out there instructing the class, and the internet will go absolutely nuts with that as the first school to put in a hologram teacher. I think
they're probably in Japan.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They already have a holographic.
Yeah, we'll have some Japanese people saying, "Hey, we've already got 20 of those. Nothing new, nothing interesting.
Yeah, whatever.
Go back home."
I could point out here too that like we could have replaced teachers with video screens already, with lesson plans that were pre-recorded and so on, but we didn't do that.
But the education is still is going to like if you think about schools, they're going to struggle a hell of a lot more with their education and what they're teaching from now until, it seems like eternity, right? Because now with everything moving a lot faster, then the schools have to also adapt faster. And,
and they're not known for adapting quickly.
Yeah. So, but that like, that's going to be a big thing. Like, I like your suggestion about how they could start to make the school more into a workshop, right?
Like a maker space.
Correct.
Almost.
Yeah.
Some combination of these things.
But that's going to take a lot of, if you think about the school system, that's going to take a lot of push.
And a lot of political discussions and political will that may not be there yet, and figuring out the funding. Yeah, it's going to be a real mess for that transition, I'm sure.
Yeah. But also I think that, if there's a AI hologram, which is my version, teaching the kids, you could argue that who's going to control the kids, right? Because the hologram, if it says sit back down and the kids say no, I don't know.
This is a darn good point. Actually, you're talking about the actual discipline action.
Yeah, like unless it's got some laser and it zaps them or something. But I don't think anyone's going to want to get their kids zapped by an AI laser anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think that we can trust that either. So I don't know. You'll have to have some basic staff still, and school security and so on.
I'd still put a robot as security. I'm pretty sure he'd be faster. He'd see more stuff going on.
Less compassionate.
He'd also record what's going on. So video evidence. They'd know.
Sure.
You could also, who started the fight? Zip, video, done. It's Tommy, So.
And every kid will know exactly how quickly the robot can respond, so they know what they can get away with.
So what's the, let's talk about business. So what's the biggest mistake you think businesses are making in relation to how they see AI?
Well, they are getting rid of a lot of humans that have tribal knowledge and a lot of experience too quickly, replacing them with AI and thinking that AI is going to do the job as effectively as a person. AI can certainly be faster, but these companies have already run into problems doing this. A recent example, Ford Motor Company just had to rehire hundreds, I think it was, of engineers they had gotten rid of because the AI was just not doing the task as well as they had hoped. So now they hired these graybeards back. They have decades of experience in automotive technology and how to fabricate all this stuff, and the processes and the quality control, especially the quality control.
Sure.
And they have them now teaching the AI to be better.
Okay.
I think this is a much smarter approach.
Yeah.
I also think that it will probably ultimately still fail because even with a lot of this tribal knowledge being downloaded into the AI, it's still going to lack a certain human abilities, for certain things. So they can probably get away with fewer humans, fewer graybeard specialists, but they're still going to need some people there.
Yeah, because I saw that also with lawyers, for example. There used to be all the juniors in the law firms, and they decided that a lot of that contract work, they don't need the juniors anymore, which kind of does make some sense because, sure, the AI could do it faster.
Sure.
But then you don't have, then if you had 10 juniors before, and if you get rid of lots of them, or say you get rid of the 10 of them, then who becomes seniors? And then you don't have if you had 10, you make 2 seniors, now you got none.
It's not
and
good long-term planning, right?
No, yeah, so that's another reason why,
And the interesting thing is it's not long-term good planning for an individual company, nor is it for the industry as a whole. But we're facing that in a lot of things in life. Look at the low birth rate in Japan and Korea and other countries around the world. That is also could be called poor long-term planning.
Sure.
Although that's much more optional whether somebody has a child or not versus you as a company, you need engineers or or accountants or lawyers and so on.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see how AI gets involved in birth rates and how
It's
things are
frightening.
seen and how because that's going to be a huge industry, right? In how they can work out how to use AI to help the birth rates grow. And like they're going to be looking for any angle that they can use it in. And you got $1 trillion business in seconds, right?
Right. I'm not sure that the money is there yet to provide the incentive for companies to build AI towards, things like, childcare and so on. There's certainly a lot of potential there, but I haven't heard of anything yet. Have you? Where they're actually committing dollars to it?
I just see the AI just jumping into a million different ways, and there's going to be incredible companies coming out.
Yeah,
and,
it will be good.
yeah.
And a lot of the hesitation with young people having kids or not, that making that choice is that it's incredibly expensive right now, and they have careers, and any sort of like daycare solutions that could help would maybe ease the burden of actually having a child and trying to maintain a career at the same time.
Or it could be that you thought you had a career, AI took your job, then you're at home, then you can look after the kids. Maybe it's going to go backwards somehow.
That's the interesting way. Something that really, really requires the human to be involved. The parent needs to be there for certain things that machines just can't do.
Sure. So what jobs do you think are more valuable now that AI came along? Or what matches do you see that's really made those people more valuable? Or is it just everything in tech?
I think that treating AI as an expert system and having access to a lot of knowledge and being able to search it very quickly, much faster than Google search could ever do before, really gives a lot of leverage to some of the specialists we already have. A physician can instantly look up all sorts of background on it much faster and much broader, and also pick up certain specialized things that they didn't know about yet. There's only so much. There's a lot going on. You can't keep up with it yourself. A good example is how with stomach ulcers, for a long time, doctors thought it was not bacteria, it was stress, it was these other things. And then one doctor in Australia, I believe, proved that it was actually most of the time bacteria causing the stomach ulcers. It still took another couple decades before doctors really heard about that study, believed it, and found out that that was really a viable thing, because they already had this bias against that thought because they thought it had been proven that it wasn't bacteria. So being able to instantly have access to this study you've never heard of before, and that it's actually been proven in the hard sciences right there, could really accelerate changes in the medical industry.
Because, as I mentioned, I've got a long background I'm more on the supply chain side. That's my background there. And what I kind of saw from that, having, left it relatively recently, was that they started to bring in, some AI tools and some bits and pieces, but to work out how those supply chain individuals would start to use AI within their jobs, not just for looking for things or doing some quicker analysis, is still a long way to go. It's a really, it's going to be like everything else, an interesting space to see how it works out. But it's not really clear how AI is going to be really used in those multinational companies with the staff that they have to make them more efficient, or to,
I've got this new tool. How do we use it?
Correct.
What do we use it on? Yes. It looks like a nail. I have a hammer. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on, and a lot of FOMO is driving it too. Like they don't want their competitor to have this other thing, so they're going to implement these solutions, and they don't quite know how or where yet. Yeah,
and I think that's going to be a big problem for corporates as well, because with AI moving as fast as it is, it takes a long time to get the buy-in, the sponsorship, and to generate a new tool or a new way of working for the staff. And then as soon as that's out there and the staff start to learn it, then a new one comes or someone wants to move again. So I think for them, trying to work out how they're going to have a good strategy of how they're going to constantly move forward with AI, is going to be a it's going to be a hell of a challenge for all of them, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's, something that I saw a lot of, and now, I really don't know how they're going to do it, because also if you look at global supply chain as a group, who is the IT lead in the supply chain, right? What you need is you need global supply chain, and then you need global AI team working with supply chain to do that, because you can't just have a bucket, right?
No, and you need them to cooperate. It's a lot of different businesses and a lot of different middlemen in that supply chain, and they're all competing with one another. So they're not going to just voluntarily hand everything over to an AI and say, you sort it out.
There you go. So, yeah.
There's a lot of corporate culture, too, that needs to change. That's very entrenched for a lot of this stuff to be implemented as well.
So let's get to, let's move away from the corporates for a minute, and let's get into the personal. Like you're somebody who doesn't have much of an AI background, and you're wondering how to get into it, or we're not talking at your level, we're talking at don't know if average Joe is still the thing people say, but let's call it that. How do you what do you reckon? What's your advice?
Well,
so therefore I could go back, I could have a look at all of the WhatsApp messages I sent with my ex-wife, and work out whether I was really an or not.
Exactly. In fact,
she said.
Exactly. And I've asked that very thing. So, am I the like I've used it for that many times? Am I the here?